Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I wanted to go over all the additions with Major Update 34, Dark Heart of the Empire. So first of all, there is the banner with Autokratos 4 as well as Lucretia. If you want to use Lucretia, keep in mind you have to draw for both heroes because Lucretia's offensive bond is unlocked by Autokratos 4. Other than that, the Echoes of Light. Of course, there's Echoes of Light has the skins for these two new heroes, but it also has a skin for Florentia, her bunny skin, Nani's ninja skin, Wilder's admiral skin, and then Elwyn's solo skin. The event is the Forbidden Battleground. So this event is running for a month. The main thing to talk about for the Forbidden Battleground event is that the achievements have changed. Right? Specifically, the level 70 ones seems to have been adjusted quite a bit. So, for example, if I click on First Battlefield Achievement here, it says SPG Master Certificate. Past level 70 difficulty with total starting power below 29,000. So that's different from before. Not sure how I feel about this one. Because it's almost as if it's forcing me to use crappier soldiers or something like that. In any case, we'll see. Haven't done the battles yet, but definitely well worth doing this event because they give really good rewards, rare enchant packs, and of course the Forbidden Store has all sorts of nice things to trade for, like skin vouchers, SSR accessory, all sorts of useful materials. So we've ran into Forbidden Battleground multiple times. It's just running once more. Other than that, in the Secret Realm store, there are two new equipments: Defender's Memory for Landius and Young Monarch for Licorice. So Defender's Memory is interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it because its effect is when forced into battle, if there's an ally within 2 blocks of you, for every 1 block away from the enemy, unit damage taken is decreased by 5%, up to 15% damage reduction. So clearly it's oriented towards protecting your Landius against very long-range attackers. The problem with that is Landius, if he's in Lancer class, may not necessarily have very high magic defense. So I'm not sure 15% magic damage 15% damage reduction is enough to keep Landius alive against the long-range attackers, which is like Lollygess, which is, let's say, the upcoming Lucretia, characters like that. Noemi. So I'm not sure how I feel about it, really. Unless you somehow have very high magic defense, I'm not sure this Defender's Memory will keep you alive. That's all. So, but that's the new item for Landius. Young Monarch is more interesting. It's alternative to the Tenuous Headdress, of course, but the effect is twofold. First of all, when you trigger Act Again, your buffs don't lose their turn count, so it makes it more easy to use her form conversion. And the other effect is if you have a fusion power effect, after taking action without dealing any damage this turn, the cooldown of all your skills decreases by 1. So theoretically, the second effect makes it so that you can cast Mass Heal endlessly, for example. Now, I'm just going to buy it. It's definitely a hard choice because the Tenuous Headdress is so good. And you can get 2 potential buffs on turn 1 with the Tenuous Headdress. But I'm just going to quickly equip her exclusive and try it out because I'm curious if the conversion, the terrain effect is considered damage on her part. So let's just give that a try very quickly. So I'm not even going to enchant it or anything like that. The whole point is I want to use Demonic Event and Mass Seal and see if that's considered damage. So let's see if it'll trigger or not. So let's go into Twist of Fate and give it a quick test. Alright, so I'm going to play Bozel for his faction buff. And let's test out Licorice and see if Demonic Event is considered damage on her part. Action buff. And if she Demonic Events and then casts the Mass Heal, which does damage, will I get Dark Coronation? It does. So that is not considered damage. Very interesting. So, even with the conversion, you can use Mass Heal endlessly, and Breath of Darkness is not considered damage, so Mass Heal can be used. So you could, if you could run something like this on Licorice, right? Dark Despair, Demonic Event, and Mass Heal as an option. But ultimately, this helmet is to make it so that Licorice can cast Mass Heal endlessly. Whether you want to be able to Mass Heal endlessly, or you want to have a more offensive Licorice, like let's say, you know, Dark Despair, Dark Dragon's Breath, and then Demonic Events, while bringing the Tenyo's headdress for protection plus 3 mobility buffs, it's kind of up to you. No, it's definitely a tough choice which one you would go for. That's for sure. So that's Licorice. Next, let's talk about the available 3C skills, because there's 3 new 3Cs. Well, of course, Lucretia and Autokratos for get one, but the other 3 characters who get 3Cs are actually kind of odd. The first one to get a 3C is Akaya. Akaya's 3C is Spirit Tremble. So it's a single target strike that normally does physical damage, but if your int is higher than your attack, it does magic damage instead. And when equipped, 2 range allows your melee soldiers to also attack, and the final effect is that you can move 2 blocks and then it'll place down a Totem of Fear on the tile you're on. And the Totem of Fear effect is that the attack and defense of enemies within 4 blocks is reduced by 10%. And at the start of the turn, they also gain 2 random powerful debuffs. Lasts 2 turns. So in some ways, you can say it's like a superior version of the Dark Reaper strategy that people used to run. Right? The difference is Dark Reaper would provide healing, and it would reduce enemies' magic defense by 30%. This one reduces enemies' magic defense and defense by 20%, but it can do either physical or magic damage, and more importantly, it has some additional effects like attack and retreat, and placing down that Totem of Fear. So definitely an improvement on Akaya, and whether you would run the support one with Wild Power, Beastal Outbreak, and Blood of the Sheikah, or you would run with the 3C skill, replacing probably Beastal Outbreak, will be up to you. Whether you want Act Again or to have Akaya herself attack. It depends on how your Akaya is built, ultimately. The next 3Cs, the other 2 3Cs, are for very, very obscure heroes, frankly. One of them is for Grenier! I don't even know where my Grenier is. Oh man, I'm sure I passed him. But let's see. Lancer, Legion of Glory, there we go. So he gets my time to shine! Okay? So it's a guard skill, right? So his guard range is increased to 2. He gets the power stab effect. I don't know, whatever. I'm not that interested in using him like ever. So, but he does get his 3C, which is a guard skill. And the final character to get one is as I said, they're very obscure heroes. And the final character to get a 3C is Pirotess. Of all heroes, right? But yes, she gets Dark Thorn, where before battle, increases damage dealt by 10% at the cost of 5% of the unit's current hit points. The current hit point loss is completely intended because it will trigger her talent. when unit hit points is below 100%, attack and skill is increased by 25%. So it allows her to trigger her talent to do additional damage. That's basically the whole point of it. And other than that, it's an ignore guard attack. Ignore guard, dealing 1.3 times damage. Soldiers will also get a range increase of 1. So since this dark form has 3 range, it allows her soldiers to attack at 3 range as well. And I guess that pretty much sums it up. So some very odd heroes getting 3Cs, that's for sure, with this one. The only one I suspect I would end up seeing is Akaya's. And I just don't see people putting in the other two SR heroes into their box suddenly just because they got 3Cs. They added a quality of life upgrade where new equipment now gets this new icon on them. So it can make it easier for you to, let's say, scroll through your equipment and then see the new ones that you may want to get rid of. The annoying thing is all your equipment initially will start with new unless you click on them. So you have to click on the new symbol to get rid of the new icons. And I had already done that for all my gear. It was actually a little bit time consuming and annoying. And other than that, finally worth mentioning is the Guild Expeditions is starting very, very soon. If we click on Guild Events here, Dimensional Expedition has appeared again. It's currently showing the previous Dimensional Expedition event. So I expect it to maybe start this weekend or sometime soon. Not sure what's going on there. Not sure why it's showing the old event. But they also added the Guild Technologies, which is basically upgrades for your soldiers and so on for Guild Expeditions. This is the whole point of this. It's like a tech tree that you upgrade with ore that you get from the expedition, and it'll basically make your characters stronger. Both your soldiers as well as your hero. So making it easier for people to clear the Guild Dimensional Expedition, because that's the only events that these are active in. And finally, of course, the main storyline has gotten Act 2, chapters 36 to 40 being released. And similarly, in the Time Rift, there is now Langrisser, the End of Legend 3rd scroll. It's actually, side note, it's actually kind of funny. They can't seem to get their terminology straightened up. It says here, 1st volume. Then instead of using volume, they changed to 2nd scroll and 3rd scroll. Similarly, previously, they used to call this Act 1 and Act 2, right? Now it's now called Part 1, Part 2. So they just can't seem to get their terminology straight, but whatever. When they release things so intermittently, I can't say I'm that surprised. So, a lot of new single-player things to do. That's what this update has added. Oh, one last thing I should mention is about SP Cherie, because she will be getting her SP form very, very soon. So the one thing to note about her though is that the SP button is here, but in order to unlock the form, you're going to need her Heart of Desire. And that Heart of Desire event does not occur during the first week of the update. I'm expecting it to appear next week, right? Because it's like, it's like the Macho Lotto event where you draw for that Heart of Desire. So I don't think it'll be out this week, but definitely next week, I feel, is when it should be out. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Nitro out.